tried and failed, I tried and failed, oh, how I tried and how I failed when I was down.
Well, good morning, Lionhearts. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. You know me, I like to start these vlogs in different ways every day if I can. So today, I took the train up to Buda, well, to the Buda side again, just a little to the right of the castle, and we're gonna see some awesome stuff today. Today we're gonna see the Buda Labyrinth, which is an underground labyrinth maze that used to be a prison that Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, was once imprisoned. Then we're gonna go to a place called Hospital on the Rock. At some point today we're gonna make it to Matthias Church, which I can't wait for. Fisherman's Bastion. Are you ready? This is the highlight of my day. Actually, they'll probably all be the highlight of my day. The House of Houdini, the Houdini Museum. Daze with Jordan the Lion with a big old smile on my face begins now. Beautiful. All right, well, I guess we hit him a little bit out of order. I thought this was actually down at the bottom of the hill. I was gonna hit it last, but it's right here. So they don't allow filming in here, guys, at the Houdini Museum, but you know it's gonna be great. They're gonna let me show just a few things just to entice you. But there's the man. They're nice enough to let me show just a few things, guys. There's some of his handcuffs, and they have the special ones right here with a certificate of authenticity right there. And you remember when I went to the Knickerbocker Hotel, I told you that Houdini's wife used to rent out the roof every year on the anniversary of his death to do a seance to contact him, and he said if he ever was able to contact anyone from beyond the grave, that he would tell her one word from the grave. And after 10 years, she was never able to get that word from him. And that's all I'm gonna show, guys. I'll tell you about the tour when I get out. I cannot recommend this place enough. This was such a great tour, guys. They're really kind. I'm gonna sign the guest book here at the Houdini house, or the House of Houdini, and they were so cool. They gave me a few mementos to take back with me, and I bought a magic trick that I got to see performed here. And she's gonna actually show me how to do it. And that's where I signed it, right there. And I got myself a magic trick. So these items outside the building are actually props from the 2014 Houdini movie that was filmed here in Budapest. Now I'm gonna come outside and tell you what I saw and how cool it was. Okay guys, I'm done with the tour. Now let me tell you about this place. First off, when I walked in here, they had a sign that said no taking photos of the posters because they're all original posters. So I said, okay, does that just mean you can't take photos of the posters, or does that mean no photos of anything? They said no, just the posters. And there's one other thing, the signed documents. So then when I pulled my camera out to start filming, they were like, no, you can't film. We invested millions of dollars into this place and we can't have, you know, it getting basically exploited on the internet. And I said, well, I told them what I do. I said, I do a travel or like a historical channel, and I just like to show just a few things to get people to want to come in. I got lucky. The owner was the guy who I was talking to, and I didn't know it, and he's almost never here. So I told him, you know, about my channel, what I wanted to do, and I said if I could just show one or two things to entice people. I said what I want to do is show them so they'll want to come here, not in place of coming here. So he thought that was actually pretty cool, and he showed me a few things that I can film, which is what you saw. And then when you get done with the tour, there's actually a 30-minute magic show every 30 minutes. So he told me he has 10 different magicians that perform here. He said nowhere else in the world, say on January 3rd at 10 a.m., can you go in and watch an actual magic show performed. So I learned quite a bit here, actually. I did not know that his name was not Harry Houdini. His name was actually Eric Weiss. He was born here and his father moved the family to Wisconsin, which I did know. And he became a fan of magic when he saw a guy do the sawing a lady in half routine And this guy, instead of being dressed as a magician, he was dressed as a butcher and just like splattered blood everywhere. And Harry was so impressed by this, it developed a lifelong passion. And his favorite magician ended up being a man named Robert Houdini. And because of that, Eric Weiss changed his name, added an I to Harry Houdini. And what I thought was really interesting was they said that his wife was actually his assistant. So originally they went as the Houdinis. That was what they performed by. And his wife, Harry was actually Jewish. His wife's mom, when they were gonna get married, was absolutely against it. A few weeks later, they ended up getting married anyway, and she was kicked out of the family. But what was interesting was they said that how Harry kind of got his start was that he was going around performing in circuses, and then he made his name by telling a police station, I can get out of any cell and any handcuffs that you put me in, given the chance to do it overnight. And so when he did that, they put him in overnight, he was able to get out, and he became a household name. Everything else that you might want to know about Harry, either watch the movie or come here. Now what's cool is, on the way out, they do a little magic trick inside with a deck of commemorative cards from this place and a lock that you use to perform the trick. So I went ahead and I bought that, but the guy inside was so cool that he said, I want to give you a few things as gifts, and I'm going to show you what he gave me. On the right, you'll see a little mini pair of handcuffs, and they sell those in there just as kind of a little memento, because inside they actually have quite a few authentic pair of handcuffs from throughout time that Harry would actually use. Some were German, I mean, they were just kind of from everywhere. There were various different kinds. And then this piece on the end, he gave me, it's a tie clip. It's a Houdini tie clip. And he basically, I said, do you have shirts or anything? He said, no, I don't want to commercialize it, because everything I have is, you know, custom made. So so he said I didn't want to commercialize it, but I have a few things, and like I said, he gave me these, and then I bought, I'll show you what I bought. So it's quasi a disappearing card trick, where the deck of card has holes in it, and you put this Houdini lock through the holes, and you perform the magic act. I am not fancying myself a magician or a future magician. I just wanted to support the place, especially because he was nice enough to bend the rules for me. He actually did say, gosh, I wish you would have just sent me an email before and we could have arranged something. I just don't want, you know, cheesy videos out kind of devaluing the place. Now, one of the things that I didn't know and that I learned in there was that at one point in his life, Harry Houdini had requested from Robert Houdin's family to come meet them because he was so inspired by Robert, and they said no. So because of that, Harry actually wrote a book called Unmasking Robert Houdin, whereas he pointed out where Robert had stolen most of his tricks from other people. Now later on, Harry would meet a woman named Marjorie, and he would pretty much do the same thing. He would expose her tricks, and someone who was very close to her was the one who came up and punched Harry in the appendix that eventually killed him. What they said was that he could withstand any punch. He prided himself on being strong and muscular and everything, but this was out of the blue and he wasn't prepared for it. And he refused to go to the hospital and get looked at originally. They said he went out and kept performing and then got deathly ill. They performed 2 surgeries, and in the end they couldn't save him. They said the sad part is that after he passed away, his wife started selling off all his relics and all of his devices, everything he used for magic, and she kept no document of who she sold them to, so we'll probably really never know where a lot of those things ended up. Here we go, gang. Next stop, as promised, Dracula's Labyrinth. As I said, supposedly a former underground prison that Vlad Tepes was once confined to. Vlad the Impaler, also known as Dracula. Okay. Now what I understand, oh wow. Now from what I understand, they actually have I don't know if it's a winery or what in here where you can get a drink while you walk around. Look at that. So here's our path that we will see. And hopefully not get lost. It's very dark, I can't see in here. Red marble. So what I had read was that Dracula was imprisoned here because he married the king, King Matthias' daughter. So he was imprisoned here for a year. Heads on spikes. They pipe in a lot of fog in here. Or it's natural, I don't know. And apparently Vlad was here, Dracula was here for a year, then escaped to Transylvania, and the king, because this was run by Turkey for 150 years, had him dragged back here and imprisoned for another 10 years. Not down here, but in Buda. All right, we are out of here. All right, that was pretty awesome. I totally understand why they don't want filming down there. It's too dark, so dark. I don't know if they pipe in the fog or if that's just natural because of it being underground and there's puddles everywhere and everything, but I tried to show you a little bit. It's pretty cool. Great experience. All right, it took some searching, but we found it. The hospital in the rock. Now what this is this used to be a secret military hospital right below the Buda Castle. And you can see here some of the examples. I'm not gonna tour it because it's just gonna take way too long, but it's pretty cool. Plus they won't allow you to do any photography, so not really much of a point in me going into all this stuff if I can't show you some of it. Mainly I had just read about this online and I just wanted to see. I thought that was kind of an interesting story that they used to have a military hospital under here. And the castle is just up yonder. And I'm sure it's a great tour, but I have a lot of stuff I want to see today. So now what I think I want to do is work my way back up to the top of Buda. And I want to go see Matthias Church, the same church named after the king that imprisoned Vlad Tepes. And there's a pretty crazy story. There's actually well, it's kind of a shrine to Mother Mary and the baby. It's a crazy story, but I almost want to wait till I get there to tell you. So this whole big chunk, it's called the Buda Castle District. So pretty much for the last 2 days, that's where we've been hanging out. We started over here in the castle, hit this section, and we took off. And then today, took a train back over and we're hitting this section. All right, straight ahead is the Matthias Church. Now what I like about this place, other than the amazing architecture you'll see, is that there's something here called the Virgin Wonder. Now since Budapest and Hungary had been taken over so many times, At one point there was well, when St. Stephen had this built, it was called the Virgin Mary Church, or the House of Mary. And then because Matthias had added the South Tower, he renamed it after himself. Now at one point, they say that this was turned into a mosque, and to protect the Mary, they covered her up with a kind of a false brick wall in front of her. And so at some point, I believe it was in the 1700s or maybe even 19th century, I'll double check that and I'll let you know. All of a sudden, there was a situation where there was an attack, the wall was knocked down, and they saw the Virgin Wonder hiding behind that wall. And the people in the mosque were so freaked out by this that they abandoned the church. And they love their paprika here. I was actually told to bring some back for some friends, so I'll probably have to. Anybody need a wine opener or a wine cork? Okay, so I looked it up. It was 1686 when the Holy League sieged this place and the wall came down. So I'm hoping that they're open today. I'm hoping. And it looks like there's a statue of St. Stephen over there. Look at that mosaic roof up there. Cool. And it certainly does look like they have it open. I see entrance signs down here, so let's see what we can do. Let's check this out first. Now this section that is right below the church, and we'll see it right after. The section right over, starting here, that goes down the hill is called Fisherman's Bastion. And there's all kinds of crazy architecture in here. It used to be an old fish market. All right, we got our ticket for the church. And there's St. Stephen. What a great man. Now, I know this sounds kind of strange, but now I want to go over and look at the statue. I want to see that right hand, because now I've actually seen the right hand in person. I mean, you have to think about this. This church was built in like 1049. And there's that hand holding the scepter. All right, let's see if we can't take this tour. Well, we're inside. What a beautiful place. They really spared no, left no detail unturned. I mean, this is amazing. Now I think Mary's this way. From ceiling to floor, literally there is not one space that has not been touched. Or I mean, not been left untouched. Let's see what's in here. And that is a candle holder. I see a lot of people piled in over here. She must be in here. Oh yeah, she is. And there she is, what we came to see. The Virgin Wonder. Hidden for hundreds of years behind that wall. Well, here is a fragment of Queen Elizabeth's wreath. Look at that. And it's Queen Elizabeth, Queen of Hungary. And it's from the 19th century, that piece of that wreath. There she is. And there she is. All right, let's keep working our way up. Well, unfortunately, they don't let you go any further up, so we're going down. I think that staircase just takes you to, or actually it's this one does. I think that one just takes you to where the musicians sit, because I could see music stands right off to the side. I never really saw myself buying a church shirt, but that's a pretty great one. Grateful Dead would even be proud of that. All right, we're done at St. Matthias Church, and I bought a few postcards for you lovely Patreons. Okay, let's go check out the Fisherman's Bastion. Now, I am not gonna walk along that top, and I know this sounds silly, but it's just because they charge to do it, and you enter right there, you walk along, and you get off right there. It doesn't really seem worth it to me. I've already got some pretty good views of this city. I don't need to pay for that. And here's Fisherman's Bastion, all down there. Straight ahead, it's Parliament right there, guys. I think I read online that there were like 7 of these little steeple things, but look at all the architecture. Isn't that crazy? It's very Gothic. This is, I mean, textbook Gothic. Looks like they charge to go up in this one too, but it's like 284th, which is like literally $1. I think it even says €1. All right. Well, I paid the 284th to come up here. I think it'll be worth that $1. They actually have a cafe right at the very top. Ingenious. Beautiful. Well, I didn't see anybody else going up here, so I asked, and she's like, yeah, you can go. I was kind of wondering, I'm like, I feel like that'd be kind of weird to pay to just go to a cafe and get some coffee. All right, well, nobody's as shocked as me that I came all the way to the very top, and I'm the only one here. I think this is higher than St. Stephen's. I'm just doing a panorama around the very top steeple we were looking at, so you can see it all as though you were here. I don't know what those ruins are over there, but I see a statue in the middle. I'm gonna see if I can't find my way over there somehow. Nice armor. You think this will fit in my suitcase? Now, I'll tell you right now, I can tell just from the smell of sulfur that this is absolutely a thermal well they're getting this from. I'm becoming quite an expert on the smell of sulfur. There we go. We made it over. This is what we're looking at from the top over there. We're at the top of that one. I don't exactly know what this is, but I've been on the go for like a week straight, so I'm gonna take a seat and just relax for a second. I swear, I've been on the go for so much lately. Like I said in Sweden, I almost need to go back to Los Angeles to get a rest from my vacation. I'm just like, literally from the time that I wake up, I film all the stuff on my list, and then I go back and I transfer files, I edit the video, and I'm up till like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning sometimes, so it's all worth it though. All right, now I want to go down to basically like the ground level, and I want to get a view of Fisherman's Bastion from down there. So yes, there are 7 towers, and the reason there are 7 towers, I forgot to mention, is because it represents the 7 Magyar tribes that settled here in 896 during the Carpathian era. when I mentioned that in 1896 they celebrated their millennial. That's what it goes back to. And the reason this was called Fisherman's Bastion is because there was a fisherman's guild that was responsible for defending the walls of the castle over here, down at the ground floor. So let's go down there. Well, I found that one magic spot where I can get footage where the sun's not going to glare everything out. I had to really search around because the sun is actually right there behind that joker, right there. This is considered one of, if not, I think it's number 1 or number 2 of must-see places in Budapest. I'm guessing probably number 1 would be Parliament or St. Stephen's. Alright gang, I think I dang near saw everything I wanted to see over on this whole stretch of the Buda side. There's something else I'm going to do tomorrow, but it was more over towards the Citadel, and the Citadel I also wanted to stop by again and tell you what that was used for, because I didn't do it at night. And like I said, I'm going to go grab something to eat now, I think, and head back over to the Pest side, which is where I'm staying. You know, it's kind of funny, is I had seen this online, but I couldn't find an address anywhere. And then I'm walking down this little street, and I look over, and right here, attached to this staircase, is where it was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I found it. Well, gang, I'm gonna call it a night. I feel like we've seen a ton. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat close to where I'm staying and start editing the videos. One more day, guys. One more day. I hate walking over bridges. And this amazing building is actually the Four Seasons. I don't know if you can see all the detail up there in the crown and everything, but it's pretty fantastic. And a Lambo. Okay gang, pop quiz. What is that straight ahead? We were just there. St. Stephen's Basilica. That is the Four Seasons gate entrance. Wow. Okay, this is actually one of the places I was thinking of going for my evening. See this? The Hungarian folklore. It's basically a lot of that, kind of that dancing we saw at the, should I even try and pronounce that castle we saw the other day? The one with Bela Lugosi. I think I saw pretty much that same thing there. But I might go. Well, we're just in time to hear the church bells go off. Well, Lionhearts, I'm gonna call it a night here from right in front of St. Stephen's Basilica again. I'm gonna go home and edit, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night from Budapest. Goodbye.
Happy now, thanks for the failure. It all seems to come together. Happy now, thanks for the failure.